Where did this journey start for you? I mean, were you just fired up in high school about being a future executive, or was this a different journey?
Well, okay, if we want to roll all the way back, I guess there are some signs of, me leaning towards a business career, probably as early as sixth grade, where I started a bank in elementary school. And
Started a bank in elementary school. Wait, hold on.
wait till you hear the next part. It folded in a week because
Okay.
I didn't understand what compound interest was. And my classmates did. And when they demanded, their interest back, their loans be repaid, after a week, then I folded and I had to borrow the money from my dad. So it was a whole scheme around, using the deposits to buy baseball cards and make some great profits, but it didn't
turn out.
What entrepreneurs are really good at is conviction that comes from their vision. If you share that same idea with 10 other people who are not entrepreneurs, you're likely to see those people have a lot more question marks than confidence, perhaps.
Mm.
And so that's the distinction in terms of being more entrepreneurially oriented. Is you see enough, but for other people, it's still quite a bit of more questions than clarity. The interesting thing about questions is that they can be neutral. They can take you to be for the idea or against the idea. You just don't know. But if you approach them with curiosity, the story will probably speak for itself. Senior people, and the more senior you go, are expected to, quote unquote, know the answer. Maybe
Mm.
teens feel like, if we don't know the answers, very upfront, then, are we really proving our worth? And so I became the first chief digital officer in the history of the internet, in the history of the Fortune 500, apologies. And that was with McDonald's in 2013. And so the wall that I hit was one that was cultural, where, it's not, people haven't grown up in the internet age. It's not a digital native company, yet
Right.
they are very, very successful, right? It's not as much, okay, what's the latest idea? How do we spin up a team and see if this might, turn into a really high growth machine? It's a different bar for, vetting ideas and committing to them. It's different, and that is something where the wall basically turns out to be writing a culture of sort of, protecting an existing business model versus trying to introduce, get into new territory and introduce new ways of growth. I would say that I am actually a compilation of a lot of different people, going back to, let's say, Volvo, where the CEO, Håkon Samuelsson, was just a very deeply curious person, where he would not really worry too much about, well, how much time do we have left in this meeting? Or, are we going to hit our numbers? But more, if there was an important curiosity that would kind of fill in the blank for him so he could understand things well enough, he didn't hesitate to ask those questions. So CEO of McDonald's, and just a charismatic person. It's very hard to be charismatic if you're not born that way. And he was, senior leaders at Amazon, I would say, well, after hearing a fairly complex idea, putting their finger on sort of the one thing that would make or break the idea. So thinking twice, thinking a little bit deeper.
On a personal level, what's a habit or practice that you have that saves you the most time each day or helps you be more efficient?
I always give myself the luxury of, focusing on one thing and being, getting the most meaningful thing right now that I need to accomplish done as a win for the day. And when you take that mindset, usually you get several things done. And, you tend to get momentum in what you're trying to achieve. What matters most now? And it could be, different today than it was yesterday. And it's certainly not a function of what's the latest thing that came into your inbox or what's calling to, what's biting at you more. It's not, you need to sort of like probably take a step back and really reflect, like, what is the most important thing I can do right now for this team, for this organization?
If you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. And to stay updated on everything that the Action Catalyst is up to, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Action Catalyst Podcast and on Twitter at Catalyst_Action. And thanks for listening.